excited tonight. We have a wonderful, wonderful guest for Leadership Matters. I am Dr. Sharon, and this is Leadership Matters with Dr. Sharon. And tonight, my special guest is Dr. Lamont Moore. He is a dedicated educator with 19 years of experience in the field of education. He has educated, tutored, and mentored students from kindergarten to 12th grade. He began his professional career in 1999 in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg School District, serving as teacher, lead teacher, and gifted education program facilitator. In 2007, he became a school administrator in the Cabarrus County School District and served as assistant principal of instruction for 6 years. In 2013, he began working with the South Carolina Department of Education as Director of Advanced Academic Programs, Gifted and Talented, Advanced Placement, and International Bachelorette. In 2016, he began his service as principal. In July 2018, he was appointed as the principal of Chester Park Elementary School of the Arts, which is located in the Chester School District of South Carolina. He received his Bachelor of Arts degree in elementary education from Livingston College, go Bears,
Yeah,
a Master's of Science degree in Education Administration from the University of Scranton, and doctoral degree in educational leadership from Gardner-Webb University. He is originally from Rock Hill, South Carolina. He's a proud father of two and a husband to Dr. Shamika Moore. He currently resides in Blythewood, South Carolina with his family, is a devoted Christian who firmly believes John 15:5, which says that apart from Christ, we can do nothing. Dr. Lamont Moore, welcome to Leadership Matters.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sharon. It's a pleasure. I've been following your work, so I'm just excited to just come and share with you about leadership, because leadership does matter. So
Absolutely.
I'm just excited to share with you tonight.
Absolutely. And happy National Principals Month.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I've already been receiving a lot of love from our staff here, so I'm just excited. And it's always good to be appreciated. But, as principal, you know that your job is to serve. And so we're just happy that everyone is really appreciative of the work that we're doing here.
Absolutely. And so I really want to start with your journey to the principalship, because you've had quite a few of positions in education, from teacher to the Department of Education in South Carolina, assistant principal, of course. So please just talk a little bit about the intentionality that you had in your positions that now leads you to the principalship.
Well, I'm excited to share that story, because it really started as just me starting as a teacher. I love teaching. I love education and seeing the light bulb go off in students. And so what I started in was gifted education. And when I started working with that, I was a classroom teacher, and then I moved into gifted education my second year of teaching. And I started working with that group of students. And when I came to Charlotte-Mecklenburg, Gifted and Talented, I started working with teachers and administrators. So my job was to be more of a facilitator, a liaison between the two. And I think that's where my desire to become a leader in education started. I started just working with teachers and helping administrators see the importance of gifted education. And so I started my coursework. And then I began work as assistant principal. And, I love being an assistant principal. I love supporting the principal and being a part of the vision and making things happen. And so I did that for quite some time in Cabarrus County. And so from that point, I got an offer to start working at the state level. And so it was in gifted education. So that's always been a passion of mine. And from that point, I really finished my coursework, and I started working with school districts. And so at that time, I started worrying about, thinking about what can I do to make sure that if I ever have to get in front of people and talk about leadership, that I've done what I'm speaking about. And so I decided to go back and work with the principalship, because there is a difference between the assistant principalship and the principalship. And so this is my third year, and I love it. And I love doing what I can do to make decisions for students. And it has been an incredible journey. I think every position that I've had kind of prepared me for being where I am today. And I still remember what it was like to be a teacher. and those mandates that would come down and how the pressure was. So, and at the state level, I know what it is to be at the school level when you're getting those mandates. And so as principal, I can see it from multiple perspectives. And now I can kind of make decisions that are pretty sound. And I work to try to make sure that we consider every stakeholder's position, and that we put ourselves in the shoes of the teacher, because at the end of the day, we're all supporting the classroom. And so I just remember that. So it's been an incredible ride. I'm just excited about, just helping and making a difference and seeing students grow and making communities better. So in each of those positions, I had the opportunity to kind of serve. And so there was some time where I kind of was shy about the principalship and if I'm going to do it, because it's a lot of pressure. But when it's really about what's in your heart. And so now that I'm doing it, I can see from the parent perspective what it is that we want from schools, because I have kids that are school age, and from the teacher perspective, what they need in the coach and what they need at the school level. So I really understand now that my role as a principal is to support and to enhance and make sure that everyone that's attached to our school is growing and they're meeting their utmost potential. So I'm excited. I love it. I love what I do. And it's just been an incredible journey. And so I'm excited about where it's going to take me next.
I love that. And so we know that as effective school leaders, building relationships are important. As I say, leadership matters, but relationships matter.
They do. They do.
So talk to me a little bit about how you build relationships, first of all, with your community. And not only your community, but the staff. You've been there. This is your first year at your school.
Yes.
So that is a year of building relationships with the community and a staff. Talk a little bit about the specifics that you have taken in helping to build those, strengthening those relationships.
Well, I first started with communication and not being afraid of it. So not being afraid to meet one-on-one with staff members. And I've done that at 2 schools where I just meet one-on-one with them. I ask them some general questions. What's working for you? What's your passions? What it is that makes you motivated to do what you do for students every day? And that's from everyone from custodian all the way up, teacher assistant, teachers, everybody who does something for the school. And it starts there. And it takes a lot of time to do that, but it's so valuable because everybody has a perspective and a piece of this puzzle that we call a school. And so you can't really make relationships until you start there. So I try to remember a lot of things about my staff members, about what they have going on outside of school. I respect what they have going on outside of school. And I try to make sure I make connections with them authentically, because once people feel your heart, then they can pretty much follow you where you're going, and they can pretty much buy into the vision that you're trying to create. But I start there, communication, and then I make sure that I'm a good listener. So when people come in, I have an open door policy. I try not to be too busy for anyone, even though the principal's job is very busy. But anytime anyone comes into my office, I make it clear to them that you have my attention. And even if it gets busy, don't think that I'm unavailable. So just making yourself available to people, making the relationships organic by just having some conversations outside of work, trying to get them to do a lot of team building things, and really listening to them. Once they share those concerns, address them. And once they share what is important to them, even if it may not seem to be important to you, make sure you value it. So once people say that you value it, and they're going to communicate with you more, and they know that there's going to be a response. So I try to make sure I'm listening. I try to involve them in decisions that we're making. They know that if we make a decision, it's never in stone. Everything is up for discussion. And so they're able to come and say, hey, can we look at this again? Absolutely. Let's look at it again. What works for the school? We try to be very flexible. So that seems to have worked very well. And people like to be heard, they like to be valued, and they like to be acknowledged. So when those moments come where you can really praise a teacher or praise a school or staff for what they've done without complaint, take that opportunity to go above and beyond. At one of my schools, I did a huge banquet for the teachers, and everybody got a plaque, because their work is invaluable. I couldn't do anything without my staff. And so I try to keep that in my view, and I try to respect people and their time. So all of those little tidbits kind of help build relationships.
And that also really leads to establishing that positive culture, because we know that a positive climate and culture is a necessity for school success. And so that really comes through the relationship building. And so it sounds like what you're doing is establish, and not saying that they didn't have a positive culture, but when you bring new leadership in, you have to establish your culture and what you expect. So talk a little bit about that, because now we are in October. So you've only been there just a few weeks.
Yes.
You've had time to observe a little and look at the wonderful things that are happening. And you're at an art school. And I actually want to go back to that before we get to the culture, because it's an elementary school, but of the arts.
Yes, it's a school of the arts.
That a little, because that's really unique for an elementary school. So let's talk about that, and then we'll jump back to the culture and climate.
It's amazing. So in Chester, we're in one school building, and there are 3 magnet schools in this one building. So it's a huge building. I love it. I love the concept. And so parents, we service the communities of Chester, and parents have a choice. We are a school of the arts. There's a school of literacy and technology, and there's also a school of inquiry. So parents could choose where they want to send their kids, and some can have their kids in multiple schools. But each school focuses on bringing that piece to instruction. So we have fine arts specialists that work to integrate the fine arts into the classroom, and they also function as services, as service providers for students who come to them during the schedule. So we have drama, we have strings, we have dance, and we have visual arts. And so all of those, of course, we have music and PE and all of those different related arts, but they come together, and we try to make sure that those students who are talented in the arts, they have an opportunity to get instruction from that lens, and then having a platform to express themselves in the performing arts, and to learn from that modality. So it's just another way to try to reach students who may be gifted artistically. And so it's a wonderful opportunity here. And so that I love it. I love what we're doing. We're trying to expand what we're doing to make sure that we're making every opportunity count for the students in the arts. And so it's been great.
That's awesome. Now, is it audition based? Do they have to audition to get there?
They don't. So it's based on parent choice. If they feel that their child has a desire to work in the arts, or if their child seems to be interested in arts, they can choose to come to the school, and we work to develop that. There's no audition to get into the school or anything. It's open enrollment.
That's awesome. It really is. Yeah. So I saw that your theme for this year is reaching every child every day together.
Yes.
So I want you to talk a little bit about that, because again, that really lends itself to the culture of your school, that you most definitely will work as a team, that everyone is invested in each child's success. That's what I get out of that theme.
Yes.
So talk to us a little bit and how that theme really drives into the culture of your building.
So with us being an art school, we, the stereotype is that, you're only focusing on the artistically gifted students. And so we want to dispel that. And we want to make sure that every child is getting what they need, not just in, artistically, but academically as well. So we made a focus on really looking at our intervention. We were already an RTI school, but we're trying to expand that to make sure that students who need intervention, they're given what they need. And so that theme has kind of helped us put a laser focus on our mission, and that's to make sure that all students, we're meeting them where they are, and it's every day. It's not just, we did this one moment, or March is the month that we celebrate this, and so we're focusing. No, we're going to do it every day, and we're doing it together. So it kind of opens up the mindset. So it's just not, oh, this is just a third grade problem, or this is just a second grade problem. They're all our students, and we're jumping in there trying to help. And so that allows us to bring mentors in, that erases the lines between administrator and teacher. There's times where, administrators will go in and they'll do some independent reading with the students as well. And so just making sure that the teachers are not alone, that parents are not alone. They don't feel like they have to do this on their own. And everybody is just coming together to make sure we're making an impact. And every child is just helping us look at what do we provide for each of our children, and looking at the data from that point. And so we're trying to make sure we're reaching everybody.
I love it. I love it. And so in the educational space, my passion is leadership development. And so I'm always curious to know how principals intentionally help develop those that are under you, your administrators, your teacher leaders who are aspiring to administration. What types of things do you do deliberately to help build that leadership capacity?
So every week we have a leadership team meeting, and this is where I pull my leaders together. We have quite a few new leaders. My assistant principal is new this year. I have 2 instructional coaches who are new to their position. They're not new to the school, but they're new in that capacity. So coaching comes in at a large scale, where I get in and I talk about what they have going on that week. I try to keep a pulse of what they're working on and provide as much support so that they feel that they're getting the support that they need from me to do their job effectively. And I give them room to grow. I don't just, have high expectations, but I'm not expecting perfection the first time. So we keep working at it, and I let them know that, you're not in this alone. And so a lot of that intentionality comes through our leadership meetings that we have, and then just one-on-one sessions, sitting with them and talking about what they need and what are some hiccups that they may have experienced, and how we do some workarounds to get through what they're doing. So they've been doing a marvelous job as a team. We have a great team of leaders, and I'm expecting great things from them. And so, but it just comes from being transparent, letting them know if there was a similar situation that I was, doing what they did, how I got through it, and letting them know it's okay. You're going to be learning. Everything is not going to be perfect. And so I try to make sure that they don't feel, overly pressured to do things perfectly. And they just feel like they have room to grow, and give them room to be creative and bring what they have to the table.
Awesome. And this is your 3rd year as principal.
Third year, yes.
3rd year, yes. What are you most proud of so far in your journey as a principal?
I'm proud that we have done some great work. Every position that I've had, but as principal, I can look back at the schools that I've served in, and I do want to say this, my first 2 years were in Lee County schools, and I worked in, that was a priority district. And so we had a lot of barriers that we had to overcome, and we did a great job moving the needle and working with the staff there. It was a wonderful time working with them. And so I'm most proud of the fact that I can look back and say and see that we've made an impact on student learning. We've made sure that the condition of the school was much better than what it was when we first arrived, and we've made an impact. So that's what drives me. I want my work not to be in vain. And so we just want to make sure that we're doing a lot of work, but is it making an impact? And when you can see that, okay, things are changing, things are getting better, we've made a difference in these students and these families' lives. We've made a difference in the community. That was a very proud moment. I recall a situation last year where we had a fun run, and we were able to bring the police chief. He stopped by our school and he was out there dancing with the kids and the police force. They just stopped and they came out, and that was a hurdle that we wanted to kind of overcome, bridging the gap between the law enforcement and the community and the schools. And so it wasn't something that was, contrived. It just kind of happened. And so when you see things like that happen, then it's like we have made a difference. And so the teachers and the work that we've done has not gone unnoticed. And so that's what drives me every day. And at this school that I am at this year, we've also been really making some strides with the community. And, our fall carnival that we had tonight we had larger numbers than we did before. So the parents came, they had a great time. We were able to talk to them about some curriculum items. So I just love to see that we're making an impact. I think schools are designed to strengthen communities. And when we're doing that, I'm at peace. So.
Absolutely. And we are, as schools, the hub of the community. So just hats off to you guys. And that really leads to the whole parent engagement, community engagement, and involvement piece. We've talked about the relationship building. We've talked about the student achieving and meeting each child every day. So now let's talk about your engagement of the community and the parents, things such as the carnival that you're doing tonight. Yeah. What other types of events do you have so that the parents and the community are engaged with your school?
So we are a Title I school. So each month we have family nights. We have family nights. And so each month there's a varying theme. So we may have a reading night, a literacy night, or a math night. Our upcoming one will be just about the fine arts curriculum, which will give opportunity to see students perform. And so we try to make sure that we're coupling curriculum with opportunities to engage with families. So I think it's just meeting them where they are, making sure that when they do come out, it's something that's worth their time. And when they know that it's worth their time and their kids are happy, then they're happy. So just try to make sure that we are involving them in what we're doing. And so we're excited about the Title I nights. We have some showcases, one coming up this fall and one in the spring. So I can go on and on, but we just have a lot of great things. And we try to just really think about, as a parent, what would you want to see? You want to see your students perform. You want to see what the school is doing. You want to feel proud that you're connected to the school. And you want it to be a good use of your time because you've worked all day. So it'll be great if you have a meal there or a way I can get food so my kids are not hungry when I leave. And so we try to think from that perspective. And we try to start on time and end on time so that parents can move on, but they've gotten what we want them to get. So I think what we've just been doing is trying to think of, as a parent, what would we want? So let's give them what they want from their perspective, but at the same time, let them know what we have to offer and what we've been doing with their children. So hasn't been rocket science. Hopefully it doesn't get more complicated, but that seems to be working for us so far. So we're going to keep to that plan and just expecting great things to happen with our parents here. They've been wonderful. We have a great PTA that really sponsored tonight. And so they're just doing an awesome job.
I love it. And so if you have a professional following on social media, where can people connect with you and see all the wonderful things that are happening at your school?
So we do have a Facebook page. Chester Park School of the Arts has a Facebook page. Please follow us there. And our district, we have a website. We have our website through Chester County Schools, so you can follow us there. And then my personal, I have LinkedIn, so Lamont L. Moore on LinkedIn. You can follow us there, and I like to post what we're doing, and on our Facebook, just lets everyone know what we're doing. So at any point, just follow us, support us, hit like a few times so that we know that we're doing a good job, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure we're making a difference.
Absolutely. And lastly, this is Leadership Matters. So Dr. Moore, in your opinion, why does leadership matter?
Leadership matters because without good support, I don't think anything happens. The Bible says without a vision, the people perish. And so I think a leader should be visionary. People need to know where we're going and how we're getting there. And so leaders who have a clear connection to the people and a clear connection to how to get from point A to point B successfully, that's what makes a difference. So leadership matters because it grows people, it impacts lives, it changes communities. So
there you go. Dr. Lamont L. Moore. He is the principal of Chester. Tell me again.
Chester Park Elementary School of the Arts.
School of the Arts. That's the part I wanted to make sure I got, because that's absolutely wonderful. I thank you for taking the time. I know that you've had a long day. You had the festival. It's just ended. So I thank you for taking the time and sharing about your school. So thank you.
Anytime, Dr. Sharon. It's been wonderful, and I wish you much success. This is awesome. I think it just gives a lot of way to get information out to the community. So thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Guys, this has been Leadership Matters with Dr. Sharon. I am Dr. Sharon H. Porter, telling you that leadership matters.